A warm welcome to you all to this session. Today, in this session, I will be discussing about the influence line for shear force and bending moment in statically determinate beams. In civil engineering structures, load can change their positions. In such case, certain load positions can be critical to certain parts or components of the structure. Shifting of load positions is common enough in buildings, but they are more pronounced in bridges, over which vehicles keep rolling. Certain wheel positions can be again crucial. We would be able to identify such positions and their influence on structural members. In this lecture, I will consider beams and try to evolve criteria for load positions causing bending moments, which means maximum bending moment or maximum shears. We can consider 5 categories of loads on beams. First one is single concentrated loads. Second one, UDL longer than the beam span. Third case, UDL shorter than the beam span. Fourth case, two wheel axles separated by a distance. Fifth case, multiple wheel axles. Multiple wheel in the case of train of loads. In this session, we will learn about simply supported beams with a moving uniformly distributed load shorter than the span. This situation occurs in long span bridges. This would give rise to more number of load positions than in the long UDL case. Let us solve one problem. So first problem, draw the influence line diagram for shear force and bending moment for a section at 5 meter from the left hand support of a simply supported beam 20 meter long. Hence, calculate the maximum bending moment and shear force at the section. At the section means here they are representing 5 meter from the left hand support due to an uniformly distributed load, rolling load of length 8 meter and intensity 10 kilonewton per meter run. Here they are asking to find out the maximum bending moment and shear force at 5 meter distance from the left hand support. And the beam carries a rolling load. The length of the rolling load is 8 meter and its intensity is 10 kilonewton per meter run. So before placing the video, we have to draw the simply supported beam. Here we can see the simply supported beam. It is simply supported at the ends A and B. The length of the span is 20 meter. The length of the load is 8 meter. The intensity is 10 kilonewton per meter as mentioned here, and here we have represent it as D. The D, which means the section at 5 meter from the left hand support. So this is initially diagram. Let me see what are the things to find out. To find first one, maximum positive shear force. Second one, maximum negative shear force. And third one, maximum bending moment. So first I am going to solve maximum positive shear force. So one must know the position of load. because in influence line diagram the position of load is very important. In case if we have to find maximum positive shear force, the maximum positive shear force occurs when the tail of the UDL is at D. I am repeating, the maximum positive shear force occurs when the tail of the uniformly distributed load is at D as it travels from left to right. I am going to place the load of 10 kilonewton per meter at the support point D. Here we can see the load of 8 meter is placed at D to find the maximum positive shear force. Here we have to find the ordinate at D and at ordinate at E. So what is the formula to find the ordinate at D for the maximum positive shear force? To find the maximum positive shear force, the ordinate formula is L minus X by L. So this is the formula to find out the ordinate at D. So ordinate at D, which is equal to L minus X whole divided by L. Here we know the total length of the span is 20 meter minus X. X represents the sectional distance, it is 5 meter. So substitute it as 5, the whole divided by the total length of the span 20. After calculating, we will get it as 0.75. Then we have to find the ordinate at E. The ordinate at E. So ordinate at E, which is equal to 7 divided by 15 into 0.75, which is equal to 0.35. So what does the 7 represents? As we have to calculate at E, the distance between E and B is 7 meter, all divided by 15. The 15 which represent the total distance 8 and 7, which means the distance between D and B is 8 plus 7 is equal to 15. So 7 divided by 15 into the corresponding ordinate at D, which means 0.75 gives 0.35. Now I am going to represent it in the influence line diagram. At D we have found out it as 0.75 and at E it is 0.35. So now the next step is to find the maximum positive shear force. Maximum positive shear force is equal to load into area of ILD. So we have to know what is the area of ILD, because it is a uniformly distributed load. The shaded portion represents that area of the particular UDL portion. So first we have to know what is the diagram represents. The diagram represents the influence line diagram for maximum positive shear force. ILD for maximum positive shear force. So now we have to find out the maximum positive shear force, which is equal to, so what is the load intensity? The load is 10 into, what is the area? Here the blue shaded portion represents the area and it looks like a trapezium. What is the formula to find the trapezium? A plus A1 whole divided by 2 into the total length. Here the total length of the load is 8 meter. So the length of the shaded portion is also 8 meter. 0.75 plus 0.35, close the bracket, whole divided by 2 into the distance is 8. So we will get 44 kilonewton. So we have find out the maximum positive shear force. Next we have to find out the maximum negative shear force. Maximum negative shear force. So the load placement is very important. As I said earlier, in the maximum negative shear force due to an UDL occurs when the head of the load, I am again representing when the head of the load is at D as it traverses from left to right. As in case of maximum positive shear force, it should be placed at D as it traverses from left to right, which means the tail of the UDL is at D in case of maximum positive shear force. But in case of maximum negative, the head of the load should be at D. So first we have to draw the diagram for the maximum negative shear force. Here we can see the load is placed when the head of the load is at D as it traverses from left to right. And this diagram, which represents the influence line diagram for the maximum negative shear force, first we have to represent that. It is the influence line diagram for maximum negative shear force. So then we have to find the ordinate at D. There is no need to find out the ordinate at A, as we know from the diagram it is 0. So we have to find only the ordinate at D. Let us find out that. Ordinate at D, which is equal to x divided by L. X divided by L, which is equal to the x represent the sectional distance, which is 5 whole divided by 20. We will get 0.25. So directly we can find the maximum negative shear force. Maximum negative shear force, which is equal to load into area of ILD. Here the area of ILD is the triangle. The shaded portion represents the triangle. So which is equal to, the load is 10. So 10 into the area. What is the area to find for the triangle? Of into breadth into height. So 1 divided by 2 into what is the breadth? Since the triangular portion is a shaded portion, the length of the portion is 5 meter and the height of the portion is 0.25. So 5 into 0.25. So we will get, after substitution, we will get the value as minus 6.25 kilonewton. So the minus represents the maximum negative shear force. So next thing, we have to find the maximum bending moment. So here we come, maximum bending moment. So first we have to place the load. Load placement is very important here. Before that, I have to mention the ordinate at D as 0.25 here. Okay. So the load placement is very important in finding the maximum bending moment. Maximum bending moment at D due to an UDL shorter than the span occurs when the section divides the load in the same ratio as it divides the span. So based upon the length of the span and based upon the length of the load, it may vary. First we have to place it. Here comes the bending moment diagram and the load placement. So here I have represented the diagram. So I have directly substituted it as CE. The distance between CE is 2 meter and the distance between ED is 6 meter. Let us calculate the distance between CE. So first thing, AB divided by AE, which is equal to CD divided by CE. How it comes? The AB represent the total length of the span and AE represent the sectional distance. So the left hand side represent the total span ratio and the right hand side represent the total length of the load ratio. So based upon the length of the span ratio and length of the load ratio, I am going to find out the distance between C and E. So AB is the total length. As you know, the total length is 20 whole divided by AE. AE is the sectional distance, which is 3 plus 2, 5, which is equal to CD. CD is the total length of the load. The total length of the load is 8 whole divided by CE. After calculating, we will get CE, which is equal to 2 meter. That's what I am represented in the diagram as CE, which is equal to 2 meter. As you know, the total length of the load is 8 meter. So we have calculated CE as 2 meter. So by subtracting 8 minus 2, we will get E and D distance as 6 meter. Next we have to find the ordinate at E and ordinate at C and ordinate at D. At those 3 points we have to find out. First one, I am going to find out the ordinate at E. Ordinate at E, which is equal to, what is the formula to find out the ordinate for the maximum bending moment is x into L minus x whole divided by L. So as you know, the x represents the sectional distance, 5 into the L represents the total length, minus 5, close the bracket, whole divided by 20, again close the bracket. After simplification, we will get 3.75 meter. Now I am going to represent in the bending moment diagram. So the ordinate at E is 3.75 meter. Let me change the color. So it is 3.75 meter. And then we have to find out the ordinate at the point D. So to find the ordinate at D, we have to know the distance. So ordinate at D, which is equal to 9 divided by 15 into the corresponding ordinate value at D is 3.75. We will get 2.25 meter. And at ordinate at C, which is equal to, again it is 2.25 meter. So now we have to substitute those values in the diagram, in the influence line diagram. So now I am going to substitute those two values, 2.25 meter, and here the same 2.25 meter. Now we can find out the maximum bending moment. Maximum bending moment is equal to load into area of ILD. Here we can see it is totally different. We can consider it as a two separate trapezoidal sections. So first section, here the A1 and A2 will be 2.25 and 3.75. In the second portion, it will be 3.75 and 2.25. So last final step is the maximum bending moment. Maximum bending moment, which is equal to, as you all know, load into area of influence line diagram. So what is the load? Load which is equal to 10. Area, as I said, we have to consider it as a true trapezium. So first I am representing the area of the first trapezium, 2.25 plus 3.75 whole divided by 2 into 2. The 2 represent the distance between these 2 points. These 2 points, which means the distance between CE is 2 meter. So I am representing it as 2 here. Plus the next portion. In the next portion, the A1 is 3.75 and then A2 is 2.25. So again open the bracket, 3.75 plus 2.25 whole divided by 2 into this length. The length of the particular portion is 6 meter. So into 6. So after simplification and calculation, we will get this value as 240 kilonewton meter. So here we have to represent what the diagram representing. It represents the influence line diagram for maximum bending moment. Hope you all understand what is influence line diagram and what is the purpose to find out the maximum bending moment and maximum shear force in the influence line of a statically determinate beams. Thank you all for your pleasant listening. Once again, thank you.